Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and into another cash stuffing envelope video. Today I'm stuffing my stimulus check. So if you want to know how I spent my stimulus money, then please do stick around and I'll show you. Okay friends, so in today's video it is a stimulus cash stuffing. For those of you guys who are new to me and don't know what my family size is, I have 3 children and then me and my husband, of course. So we actually got $2,400 in stimulus because my oldest son is 18, so he didn't get a stimulus. So what I did was, just to kind of break it down for you guys so you guys understand what I'm doing here. Let me see if I can zoom you guys in. Maybe bring this up a little bit. Is that in focus? So what I done was, I'm only going to be stuffing $600. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. $100 into my cash envelopes. And what I did with the rest of the money, the $1,200 that I got for the 2 little boys, I just divided that by 3. So basically I added into each of their savings the $400 from that $1,200 stimulus for the children. I do use the green light card, and that is it's a debit card, and it comes with an app. It allows you to save a certain amount of money, move over their allowance or any money that you want them to be able to spend. And it's designed really well. I really love the app. So if you haven't heard of that and you have older boys, my oldest one is 18, my middle child is almost 12, he'll be 12 next month, and then this guy is 7. He tends to be more of a money saver than the other 2 boys, but my rule in my house is that, like, this money from stimulus is going directly into their savings. They won't even know that they have it. But when I give my kids their allowance, they do have to save 30% of their allowance right off of the top. And so each of them will get, Ethan, of course, he makes his own money. He has a job, so he will usually give me his paycheck. I'll deposit it into my checking account and then move his money over to his green light card so that he has it. He also does have his own checking account. I just control the green light card through my app in my phone, so it's just easy for him to cash his check and then give me the money and I move it over. That way he's not dealing with cash all the time and he can just use his debit card just like anybody else would. And then the 2 younger boys, all of them get $10 a week in allowance if they do what they're supposed to do, but they know they can only spend $7 of that allowance per week. So what I do at the end of each month is I take all of their money that they have left over, whether or not they spent their allowance or not, for the whole month. So like this month they'll have 5 weeks in the month. So if they have earned their allowance, they'll each have $50 in their account. Ethan, I don't really do this to. Usually I just end up giving him his cash, whether he is going on a little trip with his friends or he wants to take a girl out to dinner. I usually just end up giving him his money. He does a lot for me. He runs kids around for me. If they need to go, he'll run into town and get groceries. So I feel like I still give him, I still set aside that money for him, even though he earns his own money. But these 2 in particular, what happens is they get $10 a week. So they automatically know that out of that $10 they have to save $33 of that. So most of the time they don't really spend too much money. Jack will sometimes spend a little bit here and there, but at the end of the month, if they haven't, for example, this month, if they haven't, by the end of the month, they'll have $50 in their account. Jack's only gonna have 40 because he got in trouble at school this week. And when we get in trouble at school and the school has to call me, you lose your allowance, because that's part of earning your allowance, is doing what you're supposed to at school and at home, and also doing your chores. So he lost his allowance, so he'll only have $40 at the end of the month, and Liam will have 50. If they haven't spent any of that money, I deposit that back into my checking account and then just move that money over into their Greenlight card. The 30% I will set into their savings account. That's the really good thing about the Greenlight card, is you can just say, you know, 30% goes into savings, and then they're allowed to spend on their balance that $7 per week, or whatever it works out to. So they have quite a bit of money, especially the little guy, because he doesn't really spend any money. But this $400 for each of them actually went directly into savings. They won't be able to touch it, and they won't be able to see it. So there's that. So that's what I did with $1,200 of it. And then $600 I added into my regular savings, and I added $200 into my home savings, and then I left $200 in my checking account for groceries, because it's time for me to do like a big pantry stock up. So with our paycheck from the week, I added $100 to that. So I now have $300 for grocery stock up thus far in the month of January. I've also saved $300 for home savings and $300 for regular savings thus far in the month. So that is kind of just making sure I know how much money I've put back into savings, because I'm trying to get a full picture of how much money I'm saving and spending for the entire year. That's why I reset my budget at the beginning of the year, because I want to see how much money I can get built up. And this is really good. Normally we get 5 paychecks. Well, normally, yeah, we get 6 paychecks in a month. I only get paid every other week, and my husband gets paid weekly. So on the weeks where my husband only has a paycheck, we usually put $20 in here. And on the weeks that we get 2 paychecks, I try to do $40 or $50. So in the 3 weeks that we had, well, this is the 4th week of the month. So in the four weeks that we have, we actually have set aside more money than we would have all month with this stimulus. So that's really nice to have a good start to the beginning of the year. $300 in savings for each of these starting out in January is really good. Normally it would take probably until the end of February before I had that much money into these 2 accounts, but I'm really excited to have set that much money aside into savings out of my stimulus check. So what we got to work with is $600 in cash, and we're gonna bulk up some of my envelopes, and I'm gonna share with you guys how I'm going to do that. So some of the priority envelopes, this is what we got right here. We're gonna bulk some of these up with this money. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna start with this sinking fund. I'm gonna move this out of the way because we will have to do a little bit of some finagling. I didn't want to get $600 in 20s, so I just really wanted to move money around to where I don't have as much cash build up in my envelopes here. Okay, so we are going to start with vacation. And vacation, we're going to be adding $40 in here. So I have 20, 40, 60, 80. So I'm gonna pull the 60 out, okay? And I'm gonna add 100 in. So giving me 120 into vacation. I'm gonna write this in here so that I know for next week how much money I'm starting with. Graduation will also get 40. And I have 20, 40, 60, 80 in here as well. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna set the 60 aside, and it's gonna also be 120. Okay, car maintenance Christmas isn't getting anything. We have a Christmas club account that gets taken out of my husband's paycheck every single week. This is just extra. We want to, this past year we adopted a family, and this year we want to try to adopt 2 families. So I'm just going to be setting a little bit of money aside for Christmas, although this Christmas envelope is not for my family. We budget our Christmas club money at the end of the year for our family only, and this is gonna be for gifting other folks. So we'll be adding money into there like sporadically throughout the year. Car maintenance will get 20. So we don't usually, I bought a brand new car at the end of the year last year, so we really don't have a ton of money that needs to go into car maintenance. Because my car's under warranty, so anything that we have wrong will be covered. But I just want to put a little bit of extra in there just in case. And it's mostly because I didn't add any money into this account from my husband's last paycheck. So that's going to be 60 in there. Sports isn't getting anything. This year coming up will be the first year that we don't spend a ton of money on sports. The little one is still in community sports. The oldest one is graduating, and the middle one will now be playing school sports. So the cost of sports for us has gone down dramatically. In years previously, we could have spent upward of $5,000 in sports for all 3 of our kids, but this year we won't have to spend half of that money, probably less than half of that, but we are just building this up a little bit, but there's no need to bulk it up right now. Medical, I'm going to be adding $50 in here, 20, 40, 50, so I'm just gonna set this aside for now, and I'm gonna add a $100 bill in here. Also, for those of you guys who are new here, if you don't know, this is really just for medication or over-the-counter stuff that we might need. I do work for a doctor, so like our doctor's visits and things like that are free. Even though we do have insurance, we usually pay nothing. The doctor will bill our insurance for whatever our office visit is, but he does not charge us our co-pays because I work there. So this really is just in case we need, you know, ibuprofen, or somebody gets sick and we need an antibiotic. We really don't need a ton of money in here. I do want to get it to a couple $100, and then we'll probably be good to go. The only reason why I'd like it to be $200 is because on our insurance, if we have a hospital visit, say somebody breaks their arm or something, that is a $50 copay. So there's that. We don't need a ton of money in there because we are pretty healthy people, and like I said, I have the benefit of working at a doctor's office. So there's that. Back to school, we'll come back to, I don't know why this is out of order, but we're just gonna do it in the order that I wrote it down. I probably wrote it down in order of importance, so there's that. Pets medical is gonna get 60, and there's 40 in there currently, so I'm just gonna set that 20 aside and go ahead and put a $100 bill in there, bringing that up to $100. We have a husky. We have 4 animals, 2 cats and 2 dogs. The cats are healthy. One out of my 2 dogs has a seizure disorder, so we're constantly buying seizure medicine, and of course it takes probably roughly about $100 a month to get them all of their heartworm medications and flea and tick and stuff like that. So I would like to get that envelope up to about $300 or $400, because the dog that has seizures, of course, will have to constantly go and get his blood drawn and things like that. So nothing there. The pool, we're gonna put $20 in the pool. When we bought this house last year, I have no idea what it takes to run a pool. We have a pool, we're gonna open it up. When we bought this house, it was the end of the summer, so, and then the owners previous had left like their pool stuff here, so we just used up what they had. But I have no idea how much it's gonna take for chemicals and all of that stuff. So I'm just starting a little fund here and we're gonna figure it out as we go. So, so pool, and then next year we'll have a better idea of how much money we actually need to set back. But for now, I'm just adding things in. There's a couple things like we need to get a new cover for the pool. We need to get like a new vacuum and that kind of stuff. So I have no idea the cost of maintaining a pool. So we're just gonna be adding in money, and then we will kind of get a good idea this year of how much it's gonna cost to maintain the pool for the following year. 20, 40, 50, 60 is in there. Okay, so big ticket items, I'm adding $100 into, and the reason why is because our garage conversion is almost finished, so I need to buy another dresser. I need to buy a mattress for one of the beds that we bought when we first moved in this house. We bought all new beds and things like that, but we haven't been able to put one bed up because one of those rooms have been under construction. So I'm gonna be adding in $100 in here, and I'm sure I'll be going and purchasing this at some point in the next few weeks. But we do need a dresser, we do need a mattress for that bed, for that bedroom, which is ultimately a guest room. So we probably will be purchasing that in the next little bit here. So that's gonna be 100, 20, 40, 50, 60 in there. And then once we get the other, we're in the home stretch, guys, of our garage conversion. We are really almost finished with it. We have just a little bit more to do. And then the next big items that we'll be buying is like futons, because part of that garage conversions, we put 2 rooms in there. One is a guest bedroom, one is a office for my Etsy store, and then the other part of the garage will be a family room, and we're gonna be moving our old TV setup from the living room out there. We'll need to get a new TV for our living room, and then we will, you know, get some futons and stuff for the kids to hang out there. We're gonna put the PlayStation out there and all of the things out there so that you know, they're not in the living room all of the time. And then I'll need to get like office furniture and stuff like that for my office. Oh look, I just broke that. Bummer. Okay, so moving along into clothing. I guess I did this in order of importance because now I'm back to clothing. We're gonna be adding $60 into clothing. So we have 40 in there, and we're gonna add 60. So I'm gonna take these 20s, 20, 40, 60. And we're gonna put that in there, bringing this up to $100. We don't really need anything, but with 3 boys, you kind of just want to always have some money in there. And then gifts is going to be getting 30. We have 2 birthdays coming up. I have one in February, which is Jack's. He'll be turning 12. And then what we do in our family is we give them $100. We spend $100 for birthdays. They choose to buy stuff with that $100. They can choose to have a little party at the house with that $100, or they can choose to go somewhere. Not last year, but the year before, we did like trampoline park. We've done skating rinks, we've done movie night, theater nights, all that kind of fun stuff. But this year, obviously, everything's shut down, so it's not like we can do a whole ton. And I imagine that Jack is at the age where he'll just spend his money. And then my husband's birthday's in March, so then we'll have a little while to build that back up. And sometimes I use this gift money for birthdays, and sometimes if we're in between birthdays, then if I see somebody that needs something, or I want to gift a coworker lunch or something like that, I will do that. My coworkers work really hard for me, so you know, I try to, sometimes I bring in donuts or sausage biscuits for breakfast or stuff like that. And then sometimes I come across a family who needs something, or a patient that needs something, and I will just go and buy them groceries or formula or diapers or whatever in between birthdays, because we have 2 birthdays in the winter and then everybody else's birthdays in the fall. So 2 in the winter, 3 in the fall. So you know, there's a lot of time in between there that we don't have any birthdays going on. 20, 40, 50, 60, but I do still like to give back anytime that I can, or when I see somebody that needs something, I like to give money if I can. So that's 60 in there. And then let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and put, looks like $20 in back to school. I like to get this all bulked up. Of course, my back to school money is gonna go down quite a bit now because I have one graduating this year. It's kind of bittersweet and sad and exciting all at the same time for him. I remember when I graduated, you know, it was just the best. So there's $50 in there. Okay, and then the home projects will get $100, mostly because we're in the home stretch, and I'm hoping that we can get the rest of what we need here with this $100. So I only had $10 left out of my wallet. You guys know, if you guys watch me, all the leftover money that I don't spend out of my cash envelopes I carry around in my wallet goes into home projects. We're in the home stretch of this garage, and so once we get this done, then we'll be moving on to our main bathroom in our home. Both of our bathrooms in our house need to be remodeled, but the main bathroom is in the worst shape, so that's gonna come first, but we won't be able to really work on that until spring because it's cold outside. It freezes here in Missouri all the time, so we don't wanna bust the floors open and have pipes exposed until spring. So I'm hoping that I don't have to put any more money into home projects that I know I'm just gonna spend. This money is basically going out the window because we have like paint and trim and just the little things that we have to do to finish up out there. So this money will be more than likely spent in the next couple of weeks, probably this weekend, because we really take the weekend to work on that. And hopefully between this weekend and next weekend, that project will be done. It was a really big project. We converted a 30 by 30 garage into an addition onto our house. So we've probably spent nearly $5,000 to $6,000 on that project, dividing it out, building the walls, because it was a garage, so we basically had to start from scratch and build everything. And so yeah, hopefully this will get us through the next stretch, and all the money that I start to put in here we can be saving up for that bathroom in the spring. So there's that. $110 goes in there. And then because 20, 40, 60. Did I do my math wrong? I guess so. No, I didn't. So because we have this $60 left over here, we are just going to put it in my wallet, and I'm gonna put it in my spending envelope because I didn't put anything in my spending envelope for the paycheck. When we got paid, I didn't put anything in my paycheck for spending. So it's nice to just to be able to have, you know, 60 bucks in there to, you know, spend it on whatever you want. Chances are this will go towards eating out for dinner just to treat the kids one day this weekend. And that's it. that is the end of my stimulus stuffing. Please let me know in the comments down below how you spent your stimulus. Did you save it all? Did you bulk your envelopes up? Did you save it? Did you give your stimulus, the kids' stimulus part of it, to your kids? I'm interested in knowing how you guys spent yours. We're in a position financially where we're a month ahead in our bills, so we were really able to put this money in places where we would like to. I know there's a lot of people out there that's less fortunate than we are, that have no choice but to take that stimulus money and pay all of their rent. Me and my husband both are essential workers, so we have worked through the entire pandemic. There was a part at the very beginning of the pandemic, before we knew all of the science and what would go on, where our doctor's office was closed down, and I was off for several weeks, but I was only off for a couple weeks. I could only imagine what it would be like financially to be off for months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. I wouldn't know. I would be really terrified. So I'm hoping and praying that this stimulus check helped a lot of you, and I'm hoping and praying that the government decides to give you guys more stimulus. I mean, I feel like we are blessed to be able to use this money in a way that's best suited for our family. I do feel like they do need to do more to help people, because I know there's a lot of people struggling. So if that's you, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for everybody through this difficult time and this transition that we're going through. I really hope that 2021 turns out to be way better than 2020. Although 2020 for me, we were blessed throughout the whole year. We bought a new home, we bought a new car. But that was only because we had been saving up for 3 years prior to that to be able to do those things in 2021. And we have a long ways to go. We bought an older home because it had a whole bunch of land attached to it, and we wanted to be a little bit out of the country. And when you buy an older home, the price you pay for that is you have to update it and remodel it. And so even though we bought the home, we're still, you know, putting everything that we have extra money wise into the home, and hopefully by the end of 2021 all of our remodels will be done, and then we can start focusing on the outside of our house. You know, we would like to put new siding up. We would like to transform our backyard into a great space. I really want to put a wraparound porch on my house. I don't know if that is possible with the type of home that we have, but if it's possible, I'm gonna try it. I really would like a wraparound porch. So we will continue throughout 2021 to put all of our extra money into our home. I'm not getting any younger, guys. I'm 41. And so I would like to get everything completed. We also want to start paying down, making extra payments on our home. I want to pay the new car that I just bought off in 2.5 years instead of 5. So some of this money that we're using to remodel, I'm going to start putting into Snowball so I can make those extra payments. The quicker I can pay these things off, the better I will be. I don't want to be, you know, 100 trying to pay off my house. We have no intention on moving, but that doesn't mean that we won't. But the more money we pay off now, the better it'll be in the long run. So we're just going to keep working towards that goal, and that's what we're doing here. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Please stay safe out there, stay healthy, and we will see you guys next time for another cash stuffing video. Bye, guys.